This is the All Things Nerd Podcast, Season 4, Episode 9. Tonight's episode is Stepping Out and Stepping Up. On tonight's cast, we're going to be talking about Bill Iger stepping down. We're going to be talking about Steven Spielberg stepping out. And we're going to be talking about Star Wars stepping up with the High Republic. And then much, much, much more. So with that, here's the intro. Hello to all the Geek Enthusiasts and Nerd Aficionados. This is Mess 5150 back with another All Things Nerd podcast. Thank you so much for joining us here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Malice Corp. This is recorded every Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 p.m. Eastern. We do this live so that you can come be a part of the show, so you can react, so you can talk about nerd culture and pop culture with us. And if you want to check out previous things, articles, other episodes, all that good stuff, head over to malice-corp.com. That's our website where we have everything for all things nerd. Wherever you're listening to this, wherever you're watching this, please make sure you're subscribing, make sure that you're reviewing and leaving us comments. And thank you again so much for coming and checking us out. I am your host, Mess5150. And as we always like to do to open up this show, we start out with getting your geek on.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Getting your geek on is talking about the nerd stuff, the geek stuff, the pop culture stuff that we've been doing for the last week that we either want you to steer far away from and not waste your time on, or it's so great that you need to check it out. So, 3 things that I've been checking out. 1, I just started listening to it, and it's funny how the reactions come differently. There is a new podcast that I found out about that is Nicole Byer, and I can't remember the other girl's name. It is called Newcomers, and they have never, ever watched Star Wars before. Any of it.
Lauren Lapkus is the
Lauren Lapkus. Yes. And they are reacting to Star Wars and asking questions and trying to figure out what the heck, who's what. They literally have sheets with like a picture that says C-3PO because they don't know who C-3PO is.
They're like making Venn diagrams and shit.
Oh, it's yeah. So I listened to it. It's actually kind of fun. However, my wife was listening to it with me, and she was so annoyed and frustrated because she's like, how can somebody be this inept and not know anything about Star Wars at all? And I'm like, they haven't seen any of it. But she's like, but seriously, the one issue I have is they bring a guy in that knows about Star Wars to help tell them what's going on, and he gets so many things wrong. He's like, I don't think George Lucas directed any of them. I'm like, what? I'm like,
their Star Wars expert is not an expert.
No.
Can we just take a second to welcome the Nerdy Effect with their 16 Raiders?
Thank you
for
so
jumping
much,
in
Nerdy.
and yeah.
Cheers.
Very much enjoyed your show last week, by the way.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you for the raid. Thank you. Hope the rest of the show went well. So I had to get out because I had to go get ready for this, which I'm not prepared for.
Yeah, no, Lauren Lapkus that's on that podcast. I loved her Raised by TV podcast. I wish they were still doing that, but I haven't listened to that one yet. I'm looking forward to it.
It is pretty interesting. The other thing I was nerding out on was I actually did this all in one sitting yesterday. I started playing NBA 2K19 because I had it free for PlayStation Home and not PlayStation Home, PlayStation Plus, and it has a mode that you start your character's career, but there's a whole story that goes with it. And holy crap, Anthony Mackie's everywhere. He's even in this thing. So
Anthony Mackie is in everything nowadays.
You have who else is in it? Michael Rappaport's in there. Haley Joel Osment's in it. Yes, from Sixth Sense.
Oh, that chubby little bearded bastard. I love him.
And I played the entire story in one sitting, and it was actually not too bad because there was actually some pretty good comedy that went along with it. Hey, Ron, what have you been geeking out on?
Well, right now I'm geeking out following you, man. Come on, that's a lot of crap.
Yeah, it's about time you let us speak. Damn, taking over the show.
What I'm really geeking out on right now is after 2 years of waiting, Altered Carbon is finally back on Netflix. Thank God. Yes. Speaking of Anthony Mackie, oh man, I'm going through the entire first season again because it's just that good. It's like my 5th run through. But I've been waiting for season 2 since literally after I finished the first episode.
Nice. I was going to start watching that yesterday, but didn't get a chance to. So
It's amazing.
Have you read the books? Because Jack Malice basically forced me to read the books.
I have not read the books. No, I have not.
Oh, so good. If
And
you
also
need something to
welcome-
read Altered Carbon.
I will read the Altered Carbon books as soon as I'm done finishing geeking out on all of the Dresden Files, because I'm still not.
Oh yeah, no.
So
One of
I've
the
got
best
my
series
prayer.
I've ever read. Absolutely.
I see Zorro also joined us on the cast. What have you been geeking out on?
Okay, so I've been watching a lot of stuff. What is the one with Rob McElhenney, Mystic Quest, Raven's Banquet? We talked about it on the show before. We thought it might be good, but there was a little worry. Holy shit, that is a good, funny nerd show. That is fantastic, start to end. The writing is brilliant. The acting is fantastic. I've also I listened to Mae Whitman on Dax Shepard's podcast, Armchair Expert, and then I got into Good Girls. If you haven't seen Good Girls, if you like a weird crime heist, it's like Breaking Bad if it was focused on women and not meth, but counterfeit money. It's real good. It's Christina Hendricks, Retta, and Mae Whitman. It's so worth watching.
Hey,
And it's just getting into season 3.
You had me at Christina Hendricks.
Oh yeah. And Mae Whitman is the best crier on television, just by far.
Oh, okay. Masonic Vader joins us on the cast. What have you been geeking out on?
Well, I'm going to try to be the best crier because right now this intro is killing me right now. We are dragging. Hey, I've got 2 things I've been geeking out on this week. First of all, I don't know if you guys have seen, but there's a new television show called Lego Masters, hosted by Will Arnett. And
I'm Batman.
Yes, and he does do a voice a couple times, and it's literally a show every week where they give him a different scenario they got to build with Legos, and it's phenomenal. It's a great show. It's amazing seeing these people from everyday life just building the stuff they do. So if you haven't seen it yet, Lego Masters. And then I just finished episode 2 of season 7 of Clone Wars. This is going to be a long, like another 8 weeks because I can't wait week to week. This season's awesome. If you have not started seeing it yet, it is also a very good show. Probably go back and watch if you could binge watch Clone Wars, because they're only half-hour episodes, 28-minute episodes to get to season 7, because there's going to be a lot of tie-ins that they're going to do, and it's phenomenal. I'm enjoying it so far. 2 episodes in. Cheers.
Killer Cutie asks, "What movie do you freak out about if someone says they have never seen it?" I think it's pretty much Star Wars. Generally for me.
Well, I responded in the chat. I've got 2 answers: anything John Cusack or Top Gun. But honestly, it's basically everything from the 80s.
Ghostbusters is the other one. That
I don't know. Daz Newport kid, man, Showgirls. That's a close third. That is a close
third. If you haven't
third.
seen Showgirls, then I just feel better for your mental sanity than my own.
Red Meatpaw's never seen any of the Lord of the Ring movies or Titanic. And we found that Masonic Vader had never watched any of Game of Thrones until we beat him up and told him that he had to watch it.
Browbeat.
And what had happened? What happened? I did the epic binge and caught up in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, he did great. Now
that was
true.
some serious binging, man.
I don't think you slept.
Lastly,
it wasn't
on the show,
a matter of not sleeping, but I had a tube next to a bucket just so I didn't have to get off the couch.
Isn't that just your normal life, though?
Lastly, on our cast is Super Hoovian Freak. 1, we want to know what you've been geeking out on. 2, Red Meatpaw cashed in some points for a Super Hoovian rant. So we need a 60-second rant from you about, what was it, the new WoW?
New
feature?
World of Warcraft. Yeah, it's new WoW DLC.
Is she talking about the newest patch with
She did not specify. She just said new WoW content.
So
She wants to hear a Super Hoovian rant. Let's do it.
Yeah. So
Okay.
give us what you've been geeking out on, and then give us that 60-second rant of the WoW.
Well, first off, I've been geeking out. I just binged season 1 of Manifest. Season 1's pretty good. Hoping season 2 holds up. If you're not familiar with the show, it's about a flight coming back from Jamaica that hits like this weird lightning turbulence. Plane survives, everything's fine, but when they show back up in New York or whatever the hell city they're in, they're 5 years in the future. So no one knows what happened. Everyone presumed them dead, but suddenly they appear and they're 5 years in the future. But the passengers on the plane think that literally only the time of the flight is passed.
Can I just interject something real quick?
Yeah.
Obviously, it was the blip. It was Thanos snapping.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we're done.
I mean, seriously. I mean, it debuted right around the time of Infinity War, so it makes sense. But basically, so all of these people now have this ability to, they're not necessarily like hearing the future, but they can sense when things are wrong, and they have like, they'll hear like their inner voice tell them to stop something, or to like, a kid is about to run into the road so they can stop the car and they won't hit the kid. Kind of that like premonition almost.
Oh, they got a Peter tingle.
Yeah.
Peter tingle.
So, but anyway, so basically, of course, the whole show was to figure out what's going on, why are they back, what happened, and it goes from there. So it's pretty good. I'm really hoping season 2 holds
Is
up.
that like
and it
the
doesn't go.
4400?
Yeah.
That's
As
awesome. I don't-
far as the new World of Warcraft or
Okay, I'm gonna
craft
start you.
content,
I'm gonna start you. You ready? You ready to give your 60-second rant
yeah.
on it? Okay, start.
So all I have to say is I waste my time every frickin' night doing these stupid assaults in a stupid zone that hasn't been relevant for like, I don't know, 6 years, 5 years, 7 years, whatever. Pandaria, you'll be flying across a freaking zone, and all of a sudden, like, you get hit with this beam of lightning from something that you can't even see, and you drop and you die. And so you're just like, okay, well, you're just dead, and you can't do anything until you get back to your body or whatever. But you don't ever see what kills you. So there's just random invisible things just flying around in the sky that shoot you and kill you. Super fun. Super awesome in that regard. Everything that you get item-wise is now corrupted. So in order to wear the gear that you're working hard to get, you now have to work extra hard to go find useless items that will unlock the things that will drop the mementos so you can cleanse the items.
There's
So
60 seconds.
Yeah, there's no way to contain that into one
Hey,
single
at this
minute.
point, make sure that you do a cut scene where you do the standing ovation with Shia LaBeouf and everybody else. That would be awesome.
No, it's the standing ovation meme. Just everybody going like, yay!
Yeah.
I had two thoughts during that. One is Red Me Paw in the chat yelling testify. And the second one is anybody that has ever said girls can't be gamers. Come on. Listen to that for just a minute.
Okay, that's it. That's our getting your geek on. Now we move on to what we do at the end of every month's cast, and that is what the upfronts.
Upfronts.
I love this. Icy Zoro, you look like Joey Fatone, and that is a compliment.
Oh, God damn it. I mean, thank you.
Fatone at the end of his career, retired 20 years ago. Yeah, all right, good times.
Okay,
It's super
Aiden,
fun that
somebody
his
has a
last name is
bandmate?
Fat One.
all right. So what the upfronts is? It's
Bye.
it's a game that we do every year. Television puts together their upfront campaign, which is their new shows that they're going to be releasing and putting out on TV schedules. And we go and get the names of these new shows. And I have everybody here guess what the show's about based off of just the title of the name. These are all pilots that have already been ordered for this year. Nobody knows what the shows are about outside of me, who has the descriptions in front of me. But it's a fun little game, and let us know what you guys think the shows are about in the chat as well.
Five podcasters are sitting here trying to create a podcast, and it goes epically wrong.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, wait, we haven't started yet. Okay, my bad.
Okay, so we're going to go from left to right. Aaron, I'm going to go through first, but everybody's going to give their thought on it. The first episode, the first show is called Adopted.
Just adopted?
Just Adopted.
A story of Icy Zoro's life.
Well,
Dude, they haven't told me that yet.
Hey, no, don't spoil it for him. That's not
My
until
bad.
like,
My bad. Drinking.
But it's obviously about a man who's grown up with one family who finds out that he was adopted on Earth, but he's really an alien.
Nice.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I like that. Yeah.
What about you, Masonic or Icy? Sorry, I'm looking at the screen. Icy, what's
Sure.
about?
Oh, I'm gonna say it's about rescue dogs. It's about just the big, mean-looking like pit bulls and German shepherds that they just find home with a really quirky couple.
Okay. Masonic, what do you think the show's about?
What the hell? I'm going to say it's the future, and Marvel has graciously adopted DC to save them.
And lastly, Super.
I think it's about a woman who can't make a relationship work, so she just adopts a bunch of guinea pigs and runs a guinea pig farm.
Okay.
Because why not?
Isn't that just called show? I'm totally losing it. She has a hedgehog cafe. No, a guinea pig cafe.
I don't know.
Edit this out. Edit it out. It's terrible. What's the name? Fleabag.
Oh, I haven't watched Fleabag yet. I've heard it's amazing.
Yeah. But she loans out the guinea pigs as like therapy animals for other people that can't find love.
A bearded master. One Killer Cutie said, "Damn it! Now she wants a hot dog." Thanks, Joey Fatone.
Make anybody want a hot dog? What did I do there?
Because you talked about dogs, adopting dogs. Bearded Master says an old man
That's
is
fair.
adopted as family's new grandfather. I like that.
Come on. That's real.
The show's actually about a Green Beret returns home to Texas from military service, and he and his family struggle with the challenges of adopting his new brother, a 12-year-old Russian boy. Inspired by a true story.
Wait a second.
Oh.
So Red Dawn
It's
never
not a
happened?
comedy?
It is a comedy.
It is a comedy? No. No.
I see that. I see that maybe going past the 6th episode. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe one season.
The next show, going back to AA Run, is Work Wife.
Work wife.
Work Wife.
Work life or work wife?
Work Wife. W.
Oh.
So that's going to be starring Ryan Reynolds explaining why to Blake Lively on a regular basis that he has to make out with all these hot women all the time.
I can believe that. Yeah.
I see Zorro.
I would watch that. It's a story of John Barrowman and our former podcast brother Beacon just doing anything together.
Masonic Vader.
Man, I'm trying to come up with something fast here. The harrowing adventures of a TV actor that has to go home and actually act at home. And yeah, it's about as all I get. Where I can't come up with anything. I have not drank in my libations quick enough, and it has not kicked in. You should have waited another 10 minutes.
The improv is not working for Masonic right now.
No.
Super.
Work wife, man. I think it's about one of those nutter butter guys who just freaking thinks that he can marry his own work. You know, like the women that tried to marry a gravestone or whatever the hell it was. And it's literally him going to work every day, but at the same time in a relationship with his actual physical workplace.
Ooh,
I have a better. Wait, I've got a better one. It's the story of Julius and Ethel Rosenberg.
Josh Collins says it's based in Las Vegas.
Oh, wait.
Enough said. And
I forgot. Julius and Ethel Rosenberg was already made. It's called The Americans.
Red Meatball says tons of people have work wives. The show is inspired by real life partnerships of producers Keller Ripa and Ryan Seacrest and writers Casey Johnson and David Windsor. It tells the story of a platonic male-female team whose professional success, personal friendship, and ability to share deodorant makes their lives work. Set in the world of real estate, it follows Danny and Scott as they take the leap to start their own team. Now feeling the stress of being the boss, they have to rely on the yin-yang of their dynamic more than ever to keep their professional and personal lives afloat.
Hey, Aaron, did you just moan at the same part that I did? Or Super, the sharing deodorant thing?
Yeah.
I'm immediately out. I'm done.
And also, the second that you said it was inspired by Ryan Seacrest, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
And Kelly Ripa.
I really would have liked my idea better because building on what Super said, it would have been really cool to see a guy try and marry a major corporation and then divorce them and take half their profits. Because I'm going to try it with Apple.
Last show. Valley Trash. Go for it, Aaron.
That's the grown-up adventures of the girl from Clueless.
Yeah.
Okay. I see Zorro.
It's a remake of My Name is Earl.
You want the Battle Pass?
Masonic Vader.
It's the B-rated version of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. They found on the scrap somewhere. I don't know. They got starring in it. Probably Sean Austin and freaking, I don't know, Joaquin Phoenix back in the day. Beats me.
They found the phone booth in the junkyard.
Valley Trash. No, let me try again. No, it's about making porn.
What is
I thought that was Housewives.
Well, first, let me get Super Hoovians. What Valley Trash is about.
I think instead of being what the actors from Clueless are doing now, I think it's all the people that auditioned for Clueless that didn't make it that are living the Clueless life, but doing it all wrong.
A lot of people that look like Donald Faison, but not quite.
We're following these actors that got cut at auditions and see how they really life. This is their real life.
If I
They're
didn't know,
trying to live like the Clueless life, so they think that they're living like the Valley life, but they're really like in Compton, like in a trailer park.
I know what the show. I see the show. What the show's description is in front of me. But if I had to make my guess, it would have been a sequel that takes place 20 years later, after Valley Girl with Nick Cage, and now he's having to deal with the loss of realizing that his Valley Girl wasn't as amazing as he thought she was when he traveled to go find her.
Unfortunately, I think it has to be longer than 20 years because that hairline loss does not go with it, man. Sorry. It's 60 years from now. Nick Cage is in a retirement home and he meets his Valley Girl.
Valley Trash is the Harmons, a scrappy blue-collar family living in the Deep Valley, suddenly experience a major culture clash when their 14-year-old daughter, Abby, gets accepted to a prestigious LA private high school filled with students and parents who want nothing to do with her family, or their 818 area code. And in the cast is Jason Lee from My Name is Earl.
Jesus.
Called it! Yes!
Come on.
What's her name? That was his wife.
I did not look that up. Jamie Presley. Fantastic.
I would definitely watch if Jamie Presley was on it.
In fact, when he said Valley Trash, the first name that popped into my head was Jamie Presley. Love her so much.
Why not just get David Spade to freaking pull out the freaking Joe Dirt?
You're my sister. You're my sister.
Okay. Oh, all right. That's it. That's it for.
It's also awkward because your sister's on this cast.
The
Napoleon Dynamite.
That's it for this month's rendition of what the upfront. Now we get into the main portion, the nerd news.
Yeah.
So this is talking about the main stories from this week, and there were so many that we're going to cram some of these down. So first and foremost, I'm sure you've heard about it. Disney CEO Bob Iger straight up just decided to step down. He said, I don't want to do this job anymore, and effective immediately was no longer CEO. He's still staying on in a role to help the new CEO, Bob Chapek, in getting prepared, who was in charge of the Disney parks. So
okay, here's my thing. He's he's not officially retired. The guy is not going to actually be retired until the end of 2021. And he stepped down from being CEO to being chairman of the executive board. What's the difference? Okay.
It's just the title. That's it.
Yeah, the title.
He's relinquishing the title to give it to someone else.
He's probably going to have the same influence. He just won't be titularly in charge anymore. The guy's been talking about retirement for a couple of years, right? So he just figured, we've launched Disney Plus, we did the Fox merger, I did everything I want to do. Let's phase me out.
Yeah, let's look at this list of things he's done. I don't know, bought Star Wars, bought Fox, bought Marvel. I mean, come on, man. Disney Plus. I mean, what else does this guy have to do? The only thing he has left to do is buy DC, and that's probably going to happen not too much later. I mean, he's
the only thing he has left to do is buy the moon.
No, the moon's probably theirs already. It's
Elon Musk, right? You're too late.
Yeah, no. Beer Master says in the chat room. Hold on. He was already retiring next year, which, and now that everything has fallen in place, he's stepping aside early, which is a great decision. Train the replacement while in position. Yeah, they already had. He said that for quite some time ago, they had decided who was going to be taking his place in the succession plan. But Disney has also had a little bit of stock hits lately, so maybe they were like, let's just get this going now.
Everybody's had a little bit of stock hits lately.
Yeah, I know. So, yes, and he bought Pixar as well, Bearded Master.
Yes.
But no, I mean, my fear is Iger has done so well with what he did with Disney that I don't want another Eisner. That's my fear when somebody else takes over.
I know. I have a fear of it just unraveling. All of the knots that he's been tying, somebody's just going to put too much strain on him, and just something's going to pop out. But with any luck, I mean, because Chapek was president of distribution for Disney properties for 2 years. So
are they the ones responsible for not bringing out the baby Yoda stuff? Because he dropped the ball on that one big time.
The reason that we don't have Baby Yoda toys?
Yeah, exactly.
The reason we don't have Baby Yoda toys is they did not want it to get leaked at all. So that was done properly.
Yeah. So, but I'm hoping, and especially since he's staying on for almost a year and a half to train him, that they'll train him right and that he'll take care of things.
That sounds like a great plan for a transition, right? Like you keep the guy that's in charge on. You give him a slight title demotion, but let him train his replacement, especially when the guy's like mid-60s and already a billionaire. He doesn't need anything else.
No.
I do share your fear that, this is the guy that's been so successful over the last almost 2 decades, integrating so many different properties into, look, we joke about the fact that Disney owns the world now. Bob Iger's the reason why. This is the guy that made that work and did it well. It's the reason that all this content that we love can be integrated. So, if he's going away, good for him. I do worry that it's going to maybe slip apart. I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing, but, I do love all our stories being told together.
And let's not totally crap on Eisner. He did originally set up a lot of the talks with Star Wars. He's the one that brought Star Tours into it and stuff, and kind of started that connection with Lucas and brought in the Indiana Jones ride, and then did the connection with Michael Jackson, Captain EO. So Eisner did a lot of stuff beforehand to kind of lay the foundation.
But that was a lot of the actual guy that was there before Eisner that died in the plane crash. And then Eisner continued this stuff, but it was all, and then it started slowly going downhill with Eisner. It was yeah, I don't know. I'm not an Eisner fan.
Not a fan either.
Well, he wasn't a good person, in my opinion.
Oh no,
that's not what we're here to talk about.
No, but that's why I don't like him. So
sorry, Masonic, I wasn't trying to cut you off.
No, that's fine. It's just that.
No, there's a fantastic documentary on Disney Plus, The Imagineering Story, that does put a lot of light into the different things that each CEO has done and what they've done. And it does paint a good picture towards Eisner, but it also shows that he didn't do as much as a lot of people thought. Also, the Pixar Story, another great documentary, really shows where Eisner was in the whole thing. yeah, it's kind of, yeah. But moving on to the next big story of somebody else stepping out, Indiana Jones 5. For the first time, an Indiana Jones film is not going to be directed by Steven Spielberg. Spielberg said, "Peace, I'm out," because the negotiations have been a pain in the butt from what I've been hearing. So, Mangold.
Also, age.
Yeah.
I don't go to age. I think it's more to negotiations versus anything. I mean, Steven Spielberg, before Disney owned all this stuff, had his name to go with, and yeah, people would cater to him and stuff. He is the complete opposite. They don't care what your name is. They're going to do what they want to do, and if you don't want to ride the Disney train, then peace out.
To be fair, if your name is Steven Spielberg, people care what your name is. His name is gold in Hollywood.
Yes, true. But this is Disney now. We're not talking Hollywood. We're talking Disney. Disney owns all this stuff. Disney says it's what we want to do. And
okay, by Hollywood, I mean the
train.
motion picture industry.
Yeah.
If your name is Steven Spielberg, you are money.
Well, of course. But once again, we're talking Disney.
James Mangold, who just directed Ford versus Ferrari and also directed Logan and took over the Wolverine franchise, is who's set to take place of the directing seat. Josh Cullis said, "I still won't forgive Crystal Skull." So
agreed.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on Spielberg stepping out versus Mangold stepping in? I mean, we all loved Logan, so
I don't know. I think
Will they let him do Logan?
I think it's a much more safe bet, taking someone who isn't necessarily as experienced and doesn't have the clout that Spielberg does, because Spielberg, he made some really, really iffy choices in the last Indiana Jones movie that he did, and I don't know how much of that was, I don't know how much of that was him, and I don't know how much of that was George Lucas having his input, because both of them are at a point where they've done so much in so many different ways and with so many different properties that they're both like, you know what? What if we did Aliens?
Well, I mean, that's
and all Indiana Jones fans collectively shit themselves. So
yeah,
super. What were you going to say?
I'm sorry.
Did you? Well, what did you hate about Indy 5? Was it the script or the dialogue? If it was the dialogue, it was Lucas. If it was
I hated both.
I mean, Ford. Sorry,
I did not like either of them. I did not like I did not like the way that they freaking took Marion. Was it Marion? Yeah, Marion, and relegated her to a freaking damsel in distress when she was the most kick-ass part of Raiders.
She was a badass bitch.
I know. She was amazing. And Shia LaBeouf freaking fencing.
I'm sorry, can I just say
TV?
racing monkeys who are swinging on vines? What the hell?
No.
It was a Michael Bay Indiana Jones.
It was. And that's why I'm pretty sure it came out at a time where they were doing these overblown, huge, bombastic freaking action set pieces, and they tried to freaking ply their trade at it. And Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, as much as I love both of them, they were not built for that.
So what we're really saying is we are blaming Michael Bay.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, we're blaming the 10 in Hollywood. Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Do you think Spielberg was like, wait, Lucas isn't attached anymore. I can't blame it on him if the movie sucks. I need to get out.
Maybe. Cut your losses and run, dude. I don't have Lucas to blame. I don't have John Williams for the score. No, I'm out.
Well, Red Meepaw in the chat says, bring back the Saturday matinee vibe, which I agree with. But here's the thing. Number 4 did have the Saturday matinee vibe. It was a fun, rollicking. It was that kind of movie. It just wasn't good was the problem. And I definitely blame the writing. I blame the casting. I don't know that I blame Spielberg. But here's the thing. With what's his name? Mangold coming in. Mm-hmm. This is a guy that's proven that he is already able to take over an established franchise and make gold out of it. Yeah, he loved Logan. Exactly. Like Logan was neck and neck for our best movie of the year on this podcast. That guy can make gold. So I'm excited to see what he can do with something like Harrison Ford in the Indiana Jones franchise.
What's interesting is that you are over. He took over Wolverine. He did a lot of good stuff with that, and they're anticipating doing more character. It's been said that this is Harrison Ford's last movie in the Indiana Jones series. They do that anymore. So, are they going to just out, or are they anticipating to carry on the franchise by passing on, kind of like what they were like, kind of leading up to in the last one, where they had the hat at the end, and he took it. He said, "Not yet, Junior," or whatever. Are they going to continue? Because personally, myself, if it's an Indiana Jones movie without Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones, I'm not going to buy the ticket to watch it. I wasn't going to buy it if they were going to pass Shia LaBeouf onto it, because it's just, simply put, I don't want to see Indy's kid. I don't want to see Indy's kid. I want to see Indiana Jones, and that's it. If he's not playing, I'm not doing it.
How old is Harrison Ford right now? This might be his last one anyway.
79?
Yeah,
Like 78, 79, yeah.
He's pushing 80.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
80.
The
He looks
man
like he's in his
acts and plays
60s.
like a 60-year-old. Yeah, exactly.
Basically,
Calm
you're not
down,
going to see
Boomer.
it if they try to dread Pirate Roberts this and they just pass the name on.
Oh, no.
I'm
There's
kind of-
there's only 1 to 7 Dread Pirate Roberts.
I don't know, because there aren't very many people in Hollywood right now that hold the kind of clout that Harrison Ford does. I mean, because he talked the people who did the first Disney movie, not the first Disney movie, the first Star Wars movie, once Disney got a hold of it, that just kill me already.
Well, he wanted to be killed in the first movie.
I know he did, but
so.
at that point in his career, he could not convince George Lucas, once they found out how much money they could make off of Han Solo, to do it. But now he can.
The man
command
was
that
too
kind of
charming was
respect.
the problem.
He can command that kind of respect, and I have a feeling that being that person and being that type of man who says, you know what, I built this role, I built this character, I built it through over 30 years. You're not going to do it without me.
40 years. 40.
40 whatever.
Josh
I
Cal
can't
is
count. I'm not here for counting. Okay?
Killer Kitty says, laugh out loud, Boomer. Josh Cal says, I think they're only going to have Harrison very little. He's kind of done making those type of movies. Red Meatpaw, he is 77, born July 13th, 1942. Sean Connery was 89, which he retired from movies. He learned, I'm not going to do this anymore. Harrison Ford's making movies with really bad CGI dogs right now. Clint Eastwood's also 89. He decided that he was just going to direct, basically.
Yeah, but Clint Eastwood looks 107.
Yeah, he does.
And Mark Hamill's 68. So yeah. And Red Meat Plus,
Clint Eastwood is pushing. Eastwood is pushing Crypt Keeper. He's kind of scary looking.
Killer Cutie says, I doubt Beetlejuice 2 is ever going to happen. We didn't even talk about Mike Keaton.
Yeah.
Mike Keaton is like 62.
And looks fantastic. In Spider-Man,
Yeah,
he looked
he's
great.
the-
So
He looked amazing in Spider-Man. He's going to be in another one, I think.
yeah, Beetle is dead in the water at the moment, is what Josh asks it is right now. And
That makes me sad.
Who knows? Okay, moving on to the next big story. Star Wars, our Star Wars stuff, because Star Wars, you got to talk about it when something happens. Star Wars has a new big series of books coming out called The High Republic. These will take place about 200 years before the events of the Phantom Menace. The period that it takes place in, none of the new projects that are being worked on will overlap with this, so it gives a big wide range for the writers to actually write and have their fun with the stories.
I guess the reason why they're doing this is because they've talked about after episode 9, Skywalker Saga is done. Nothing else is happening. So what do you need to do? You either come out with a new movie or you do what Star Wars does best, which is write. They have a great, phenomenal line of books that carry stories and eventually get turned into something. I mean, that's how Clone Wars came about in a sense. They were able to make a movie or a series off of the book writings of the Clone Wars. So it absolutely makes sense. They get themselves 200 years in the past. Isn't that about the same time Knights of the Old Republic?
No, I think Old Republic is way further back.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So
This is 200 years before A New Hope, which is
no, 200
supposedly
years before Phantom Menace.
Well, Phantom Menace was only what 19 years
Yeah,
before.
so 20,
Yeah, okay.
220 years essentially. before New Hope. This is supposed to be the golden age of the Jedi. It's like when we pictured the Jedi being like the righteous enforcers around the galaxy. This is that time.
Josh Callis, this is a huge chance since no one knows anything about that time period. Exploration and Jedi are in a good place, and the Republic is expanding out into Throt.
I don't know. I think it's a really smart move, considering they have so many gaps in the Star Wars lore, in the history, in the timeline, that they could have thrown this wherever they wanted. They could have taken it all the way back to freaking Darth Plagueis the Wise if they wanted to, but they didn't. They chose a time frame that no one had really touched on yet, and they're gonna they have a blank slate. They can literally create. They can go Michelangelo on this, or they can go freaking 3-year-old with a freaking lump of clay. We don't know, but it's an equal. We have a chance here, so that's I think it's a great idea. I think it's lovely.
I do like it. I'm excited to see what they could do with it, and I'm hoping that it will. With the way Disney's going and everything, it might spawn off new Star Wars series because, like I said, Clone Wars is doing really well so far, as long as they don't put Thrones.
And then the authors that they have pinned so far for these books: Claudia Gray, Justina Ireland, Daniel Jose Older, Kevin Scott, and Charles Soleil, which are supposed to be very well known for young adult and adult books. So, yeah.
I know exactly who they are.
and this is comic books as well as books, so they're gonna go really, really deep with this. There's gonna be a lot of expansion happening here. So yeah, I think it will spawn off into getting some series and stuff.
Wonder if it was Benioff and Weiss that were supposed to do a trilogy that never ended up happening. Like, I remember questioning, well, where the hell else are they going to pull from the Star Wars universe? Maybe this would have been it. I don't know. Although I suppose they said they were going to pull from like the Outer Rims or something like that.
Which they totally can. They could totally do a bounty hunter series. I mean, dude,
that's
I'd be watching all day.
It's like
That's an awesome point.
Mandalorian or something.
Well, that's an awesome point that Josh Callis brings in the chat room. All the authors are all working together as well. So huge deal and going to be awesome. So kind of the same thing you're doing with Marvel and DC Comics, where they're just like, okay, you can't do this to this character because I'm doing this over here to the character. And so they're all coincided with each other.
Studio rules.
Can I take a second here? DC, come here really quick. Come here, DC.
Yeah, meet me at camera 3.
Let's get this straight. So Marvel is able to put movies together. They've done 23 and they've done a phenomenal job. Star Wars has done all right, but they've really killed it in books, and now they're showing that authors can work together. How about you get your shit together, the epic superheroes that DC has, and fix it? Thank you. Back to camera 1. Thank you.
They're trying. All right, last big nerd news subject, and that was
news.
Nerd news. I said nerd news.
This is supposed to be nude news?
I hate you all.
My sister's on the
All right, hold on.
Poker all started?
Also,
I see. Do not do it, dude. We've got some viewers. We'll lose them fast, bro. We'll lose them.
That's all right. I'll keep my bacon and eggs Ron Swanson on it.
Westworld.
Yes.
Westworld has made their
Never heard of it.
has made their season 3 ad campaign super immersive. Sending out. Now, did you get this email sent to you, IC?
Yes, I did. I signed up for the Delos email subscription or whatever thing, like back in Westworld season 1. So Delos is the company that creates Westworld, right? It's the Delos Corporation, and they send out emails to people like they are a real corporation.
I got the pronunciation right over you. Delos, not Delos.
Is it Delos?
Delos. I've been rewatching the series again, so it's Delos.
Okay, but they send out emails to people that subscribe to their list or that have signed up for any of that stuff, and they send it out like they're a real company. This email was sent to me as if it was currently 2040 and some, Internet Reform Privacy Act had just been passed, like in 2039, and it leads you to a link that goes to what is it? Insight.ing, inciting or something like that.
The
I
company
thought it was
that-
the Nigerian prince or something like that.
And it leads you to the company that is the what's the impetus behind season 3, and it's kind of fascinating. Basically, they're starting an ARG like Lost used to do. Great stuff.
Okay, so the email said, "Dear valued guests, as you may have heard, U.S. Congress has just passed the Privacy Act of 2039, which will be effective starting today. You will begin to see the impact of this legislation roll out over the coming weeks. Delos Destinations has been providing themed fun for over a decade, and the security of our guests, both in the park and online in the real world, is tantamount to our success as far as we're concerned. Your core experience will stay the same, an opportunity to discover who you are in an environment without limits. All corporations with a digital footprint are required to be compliant with this new initiative, affecting the way your private information is collected, stored, shared, and processed. As part of this new overhaul, legislators have partnered with Insight to provide a clearer path to radical data transparency, putting control back in the hands of consumers. For more specifics on how this new law will affect you, please check out insightinc.com. And as a gesture of our commitment to a safer, more open and free world, enjoy an extra night stay at Westworld or our own newest attraction, The Raj, on us. This is only the beginning. Welcome to life without limits." And then, yeah.
Can you imagine getting an email that gives you a free night stay in friggin' Westworld?
Can you imagine how many people got that and actually tried to turn it in?
Sweet Lord. And then, okay, so that site, insight.inc, leads you to it's a fully built site. It's like a company. It's got headings. If you go to the help tab, it actually brings you down to the most recent trailer for Westworld season 3. I haven't played too much into it. There's a little blinking thing up in the top right that gives you an IP address. I tried going to it. I couldn't find it. I tried pinging it. It didn't connect. But I'm sure that somebody's going to figure out what the next step in that game is.
So there's actually 3 secret trailers out there for the next season. And I think that has stuff to do with this to find them. And I don't know how, because I've tried clicking on different things. But yeah, there's what Insight can help with. Tired of befriending strangers? Insight can show you who your real friends are. Sick of search bar suggestions? Insight can find you what you're truly searching for. Got junk in your cart? Insight can get you what's missing in your life. Music not feeling made for you? Insight can play you what's stuck in your head. Networking not getting you anywhere? Insight can win you your dream job. Drivers making a wrong turn? Insight can take you where you really want to go. Over living through filters and friends' vacations? Insight can bring you a life worth 1,000 pictures. Now remember, previously when they were doing this whole Insight thing, it was all about getting your data and telling you what decisions to make in your life.
I was going to say, didn't we do a story about this? Like it was a Westworld promotion where everybody's social media was just fully mined for every little bit of their life. And they all went to a dinner party and were just creeped the hell out by like, "Hey, I'm sorry about your dog Snuffy when you were 9.
Yeah, Josh College says, "I don't want to go to Westworld, especially with the black light."
Yeah.
Two of our cohorts here have not watched Westworld yet, so they don't have any insights on it yet, but they need to check it out and get
Well, I know one of our cohorts only watches HBO shows after we browbeat him into it, so I don't know.
One of our cohorts here is not understanding what you're talking about there, and he's got a crazy itch going on right now. Yeah.
Oh man, I just need to rub my mustache.
But yeah, Westworld's going super immersive with their ad campaign for the next season. So,
good old viral marketing. I love it.
No, it reminds me back in the day when Lost was on the air, when they were doing full-on alternate reality games. Like you had to figure out like
the Blair Witch Project when they started with that, dude. That was crazy. That the internet, as it was. 20
in 1999
years ago, lost its damn mind, and it was beautiful.
Now, like I said, lots of stuff to talk about. We've burned through most of it already, but because there was so much, that's when we get into rapid fire nerd news. This is quick reactions, quick thoughts to things that happened throughout the week. Rapid fire news story number 1. Little Shop of Horrors has a remake coming, and they've got a cast coming as well. And in that cast, you have already, which is being directed by Greg Berlanti. Chris Evans is playing the evil dentist that Steve Martin played, and in talks to play the lead roles are Scarlett Johansson and Taron Egerton.
Taron Egerton, yes.
ScarJo, no.
No, not the right role for her.
Can't see Chris Evans replacing Steve Martin in any capacity ever.
Actually, did you see Knives Out?
I did, and still no.
He can have that sardonic edge, and I think he could do a good job. I think he can pull it off.
Steve Martin is so hard to replace. I mean, that dentist, he was such a psycho.
Yeah, but Taron Egerton's such a good. I think.
Taron Egerton is great. I think he's fantastic, but he wouldn't be playing the dentist.
No,
right?
He's gonna be playing Seymour, Bearded Master.
Okay.
I'll watch anything with ScarJo.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
I just don't see her as Audrey. I mean, does she have vulnerability? Yes, but not that kind.
If she's up for the Audrey role for Audrey 2, that I could definitely see, because if you watched her,
Audrey 2 is the plant.
Audrey 2 was the plant, yeah, and
yeah.
her voice.
She's not doing the voice.
No, she's Audrey the girl. She's not
they already have the voice of the plant.
No, I'm saying Audrey 2 for the plant. If they have her voicing the plant,
no, they don't. No, they have her up for the role of Audrey 1.
Because what she did with the freaking AI in her.
Yes, in her, yeah, absolutely. Shit, I fell in love with her voice.
I know.
Yeah, that would be better. I just don't see her playing Audrey the human.
No.
It's not the right casting for that in any way, shape, or form.
Rapid fire story number 2. Kazuhisa Hashimoto passed away. He, if you don't know his name, is the creator of the Konami Code.
Left, right,
BA select start. Major thing for video games. Contra started it all. So
and I love that he became so famous because he didn't want to get good enough at the game to play test it, right? So he made a cheat code so that him and his testers could go through on one life without freaking having to restart. I love it. That's the level of laziness that I aspire to.
Well, I love it too, because otherwise there's no way I would have ever beaten Contra.
Oh, me too. Me either.
Nice. Sorry, in the chat room, Red Meat Pasta says Anna Kendrick for Audrey. Yeah, I would go.
That's better. That's definitely
Absolutely.
better. Yeah.
Super. Any thoughts on the Konami Code creator passing away?
I think it sucks. But I never played the game, so unfortunately I have no frame of reference.
What game is
It's just there's an irony to the guy that invented Infinite Lives dying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, up, down,
Yes.
left, right,
He
BA.
passed away. Quick reaction, thoughts.
Sad day.
Okay.
Sad.
and then I laugh. I'm a terrible host. All right. Nerd rapid fire story number 3. Jeopardy gets in on the fun, poking at George R.R. Martin. On Tuesday's show, they had a question. After nearly a decade of waiting, this author assures us the Winds of Winter is coming. There's an excerpt on his website, to which, of course, who is George R.R. Martin. So, quick reactions.
We see you, George. We see you.
If the man dying from stage 4 cancer says, "Get your shit done already," do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, quit being a dick. That's my word of the night.
Word of praise.
Dick is the word. Word that, and the whole thing is the phrase.
No, I thought bird.
Bird is the word.
Nope, don't start. This is supposed to be rapid fire. We'll never get anything done.
Rapid fire with a slingshot.
Last rapid fire news story number 4. Scientists studying the distant galaxy cluster have discovered the biggest explosions in the universe since the Big Bang, and they don't know what caused it, but was a huge, massive explosion in the god, here we go.
Please say it.
Ophiuchus galaxy cluster, about 390 million light years from Earth. That's not too bad. Ophiuchus.
I think that article
Oh,
came out after. I think that article came out after Taco Tuesday, right?
Michael Bay presents The Universe.
Boom.
Just give me your reactions.
That was it. Michael Bay presents The Universe.
It would be the single largest thing in the universe if it weren't for your mom.
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
Wow.
What?
We got a your mom joke.
What?
oh, that hurt.
What?
Oh, I'm sorry. 1993 called it once. It's
Wow.
No.
That's as epic as a Nick Cage movie.
I know, right?
The first your mom joke since the Big Bang. Anybody else have quick reaction?
Well, fortunately, if anything does come from it, we're gonna be long gone by that time. So let's move on.
Yeah, that was my thinking. Is like if this is bigger than the Big Bang, like the wave that's coming from it is just going to wipe us out.
Yeah,
it's the biggest thing since the Big Bang.
So fast forward like what 10,000 years. I don't know how long it's gonna take to get there, but can you imagine being that scientist just watching that coming?
How many light years away was it? It's literally that long.
390 million.
It's a lot more because we already can see it. So it happened 390 million years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, that's that scientist.
They said that this could fit 15 Milky Way galaxies in a row into the crater this eruption pushed into the cluster's hot gas.
Well, that's not a lot. Have you seen a Milky Way bar? They've gotten smaller.
No, those are just the fun size. That's the fun size, right?
You're welcome.
Size bars.
Super. What were you saying?
Like, how do they know that? Like, how can they measure it? We're not there. Like, how do they know?
Hold on a sec. Wait, hold on a sec.
Like,
here we go. Science.
Oh,
dude, I need you as a gift saying that real quick. Just science.
Science.
But take that word science, and then you take that word and eat your word of the day.
Milky Way. Oh, Milky Way, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Polyphonic?
Eat a Milky
That was my word of the day. Sorry.
Your mom? What?
Gosh, quit being a dick.
That's your mom too, bro.
Oh.
And I like how they compared it to the blast that happened at Mount St. Helens, which ripped the top off the mountain. Because I'm like, sure, punching a hole in the galaxy the size of 15 Milky Ways and a mountain coming off, mountain blown up. Sure, that's totally the same thing.
They were fun size. They were fun size Milky Ways.
This was the fun size Mount St. Helens. Wait, no, Mount St. Helens was the fun size giant astronomical explosion? I don't know.
It's what you got in your Halloween bag. Trick or treat.
I don't know. This entire conversation has gone off the rails.
It's gone way off.
Science.
We had rails.
Science.
Okay, let's just get to the last part of the show, and that is our somebody's got to talk about it.
We need to talk.
You talking to me?
Oh my God! Who told you?
Have you told anyone else about this?
What you talking about?
Look who's talking.
Weird, odd, strange stories that are out there that somebody's got to talk about in the world of nerd culture, geek culture, and pop culture. The one we wanted to talk about is if you're looking for a job and you want to jump into the Star Wars universe, Disney has put out their recent job postings to be a part of the Galactic Starcruiser, which is, for the layman's, the real life. It's just their hotel experience. But they want a general manager, and that general manager's title will actually be as an admiral.
Admiral.
So it says, here's the job listing. Are you ready to command the Galactic Starcruiser? The Halcyon, where you will take passengers on an adventure to a galaxy far, far away. Be the first admiral to manage this fully immersive luxury resort where guests and crew are part of a Star Wars story, including encounters between Resistance Force and the First Order.
Well, to go on something prior, we definitely are not going to use black lights in any rooms for that hotel.
Nope.
So many Chrono Baby Yodas died on those sheets.
You don't want to ever use a black light on any surface that you ever do anything on, ever. You don't want to do it.
Wait, okay, so
naivety is better than knowledge.
So I think the Das Newport kid is onto something. All those Baby Yodas.
You know who Das Newport kid is, right?
Half the people don't realize it's me.
I don't care. It's good if somebody's saying something.
Josh Kyle says that's a cruise ship. No thanks. Corona taught me that. I think we're in a galaxy far, far away. Hopefully the coronavirus has not gotten to that galaxy, but who knows?
He spelled corona like the beer, not the virus. So
Trump. No, he spelled it completely wrong. It should be Corao. There you go.
Red
Corona,
Meat Pot said, as the manager of a DMV, I am uniquely qualified for that job. And then Bearded Mask said that they'll be there in April. Maybe I can weasel my way into an interview.
That's no cruise ship. That's a small moon.
Oh no! having worked in the luxury industry for like 5 solid years, you need all the degrees to do that job. That's insane.
So I'm gonna
that job thing.
So are they gonna have like thing for them? You know, like pillows. Condoms to protect your lightsabers. What? I mean, what's going on here?
That took a turn.
What goes over a lightsaber? What goes over a lightsaber to make it safe? Is there a thing?
It's a sheath. Sheath.
Yeah, is there a lightsaber sheath? I don't think there is.
It would just burn through it. It's just gonna leave holes everywhere. You don't want that.
That's why it has a clip on the bottom you put on your belt.
I'm gonna apply for selling death sticks.
You want to go home and rethink your life?
I'm going to go home and rethink my life.
Hey, Super, what do you think about this job description?
Oh. They're going to probably need dancers for the Jabba the Hutt Palace, like, dance floor and stuff. Look it up.
Are you saying
I can't dance. Well, I still get this reference. I basically dance like Xander trying to impress girls with the bronze, which is
you cannot cross that. That's crossing streams. That's illegal. It's very bad.
Too many nerd properties at once.
Bearded Master says, make your saber at Disney gives you a bag to slide your saber in. For what they charge you, they should.
Well, no, they're gonna charge you another $40 for that bag to put your saber in. Yeah.
Dude, so Disney's practicing safe saber handles, huh? All right, that's cool.
Saber handling.
That's good.
For the actuality, what they're actually looking for, we are seeking a seasoned hotelier with extensive senior leadership, hospitality experience on land or at sea to serve as a resort manager / hotel director. He or she will drive and execute a unique, immersive, cruise-like experience aligned with our Star Wars franchise. This experience will operate as a 2-night journey and be the world's first multi-day immersive adventure. The ideal candidate will have a passion for bringing ideas to life, creativity, value a non-traditional work environment, and balance a traditional hotel experience with immersive entertainment. So if you're going to apply for it and you get the job, come be a guest on our cast because we really want to know about
if you're the 60-year-old. If you're the 60-year-old who is used to run a resort level Hilton or Marriott, come visit us.
So hold on a sec. I'm kind of nervous because experience is not required if they have to be a Star Wars fan. Can you imagine if a Star Trek fan got that one?
Oh my God, it'd be amazing. I want to see a Star Trek fan go on there dressed up like a Trekkie and try.
I want that as an animated short right now. I want that as an animated short right now.
The nerd news. Well, there was the manager was beat down by several Wookiees and a couple Jawas.
I can see an actual YouTuber like somebody that does pranks or something doing this, getting themselves dressed up like a Trekkie and trying to stay in character with this immersive experience in the Star Wars land. And
I'm saying straight up animated short. I can picture the tiny little red shirt walking in up to the hotel desk and people looking at them blankly, and then all sorts of hijinks ensuing. That
First
would be
of all,
amazing.
two things. I like how you picked red shirt because that's usually the person that
Gotta
dies.
Yeah.
Second of all, if you want to see what that's like, all you have to do is go back and watch something from the 90s. It's the Charger games at San Diego, and there you go. You've got what it's going to look like. There you go. That's Star Wars and Star Trek fans right there. Oh boy.
Oh, all right.
By
You're the master.
Ewoks.
Beat by Ewoks. Yep. That's our show. That's our cast. So 2 things about tonight's show. One, thank you guys for checking us out. Make sure that if you like this show, it was a bit of a mess because, like I said, I wasn't that prepared for it because I had a lot of stuff going on throughout the day. But thank you for listening. Make sure to subscribe wherever you're listening. Drop a comment if you're able to, or a review. We greatly appreciate it. And if you're here on Twitch and you want to subscribe to the channel, thank you for that. You don't have to. We just appreciate you being here. That's the whole point of you being point of this is so that you can interact with us and we can have fun with you. Thank you, Killer Cutie. Thank you to Nerdy Effect for raiding with such a great big group. Thank you so much for that. So with that, let's talk about where you can follow these fine people outside of this cast. Aaron, where can people come chit chat with you?
I am DOS Newport Kid, for those of you who didn't know. I'll be in the chat here periodically. And I'm also DOS Newport Kid on Instagram, Twitter, and on Xbox Live, and on PlayStation Network as well.
What about you, IC Zoro?
You can find me at Joey Fatone or at NSYNC. Wait, no, sorry. At
Joey
IC Zoro.
Fatone's hot dogs. Joey's Fatone's hot dogs.
Right. At IC Zoro on Instagram, Twitter, and PlayStation Network.
What about you, Masonic Vader? Where can people follow you?
You can follow me at Twitter, Masonic Vader, and PlayStation Network, Masonic Vader 71. Just don't find me on Fortnite because I will pop you in the head with a sniper rifle.
That's so mean.
Yes, I will.
You're not just gonna dance around them?
No, I don't do the dance. I'm not that kind of dick.
Super. Where can people follow you?
You can follow me on Twitter at SuperHoovianNut, and then you can follow me on Instagram at SuperHoovianFreak. I'm going to Vegas next week, so it's going to be a lot of the convention photos and updates and stuff from the panels and the convention floor and all that good stuff. So
Possibly a tier or two.
probably.
She
Now,
always
I
has
know
good
from me,
content.
but
Follow her.
someone in that convention hall, I am more than sure will be crying at some point. So
And if you want to follow this podcast, we are on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that you listen to podcasts. We're also on YouTube. Just look up Malice Corp on YouTube. We record this every Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time on Twitch, twitch.tv/Malice Corp. But the funnest place to come interact with us, give us your thoughts on the things that we're going to be talking about for the week, over on Facebook at facebook.com/groups/all things nerd podcast. If you want to follow me, you can check me out on Twitter at Mest_MaliceCorp or on Instagram at Mest5150. And with that, thank you guys for coming. You keep nerding on, and we will see you next week. Now I got to see if I can find somebody to rate.
Stay nerdy.
Carol.